The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnnie Mags and Messy Mike. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast, where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics you would talk about around the pit. As always, I'm joined by Messy Mike.
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Fantastic. How you feeling? I know you had a little
under the weather.
little something going on.
Yep. But I'm fighting through it.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. So, today, we are going to start off with a little rant. I can no longer hold this in. You love football.
I do.
I love football. Monday Night Football, I cannot deal with anymore. These announcers are dog shit.
Oh, they suck, yeah.
Jason Witten, I love you. Great football player, Hall of Famer, definitely from the Dallas Cowboys. But this Joe Tessitore guy, he's got to go. He's got to go. I can't do it. I have to lower the volume now. Look I'm shaking because I feel so passionately about this.
Did you say Joe Testicle?
Well, I'm about to.
All right.
Joe Tessitore of ESPN. But it's
Tessitore.
whoever.
You should be talking soccer.
Talking soccer. Do something. Leave the football alone. All I want is to listen to guys talk football who know what they're talking about. I want Pat McAfee. That's who I want. The former punter for the Indianapolis Colts. He is an absolute riot, and he would be phenomenal on live television. Pat, Cuzzo, call me. We'll hook it up.
There you go.
Get something going here. These guys, they're driving me nuts. But
Red Sox won last night.
at least the Red Sox won, so now we got...
A little nerve-wracking with Kimbrel in there at the end, but we fought through it, and hopefully we can beat the Astros.
That's it. Should be a great series.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Great teams.
Fantastic.
So...
And today we're talking meat.
Well, we always talk meat.
Well, we're talking grades of, meat. We're actually, going to get into some butcher shop, some supermarket questions.
So today's, finally, we had some listener feedback, which is leading to today's show. I'd like to thank my good friend for many years, Rob Manzella. Rob, I love you, buddy. Thank you for your topics. They're great, informative, and we can roll with this for a while.
Yeah, we're going to try and answer, as much as we possibly can.
That's it.
So, his first question, he wanted us to kind of get into the grading of steaks, grading of, meat, chicken. You can do veal, go from there. But basically we're looking into, beef and chicken. So, there's three grades of beef, prime, choice, and select. And, those are your top three. There's also, standard and commercial grades and utility cutter and canner grades, which are, basically ground and stuff you'd see in canned. That's where the term comes from. But your prime grades is, it's usually produced from young, well-fed cattle. It has an abundant marbling and is generally sold in just only restaurants and hotels. You're really not going to find prime in, your local supermarkets. Some member only supermarkets might have some, but, depending on where they are in the United States, they might not have it. And prime roasts and steaks are excellent for dry heat cooking, broiling, roasting, grilling, smoking. Then we go over to the choice. And that's what you're going to mostly see in, your supermarkets, your local supermarkets, choice and select. Choice is high quality, but, less marbling than prime. Choice steaks, are from the loin and, and the rib and can be very tender, juicy, and flavorful. But, many of the less tender cuts, such as those from the the rump, the round, the blade chuck, can also be cooked with dry heat, if not overcooked. So you're looking for what you're looking for is your marbling. Does a steak look whole, or are there cuts in it? Does it not look uniform? How much fat content is in the steak, and then your color. Is it nice and red, or do you have a little? Is there a little brownish going on there?
You get the little touches of gray here and there. Sometimes you see
touch of gray.
Great song.
Yeah. No, and I think you bring up a good point. Just because it's graded in a particular category like choice, it's not all the same. I mean, these are individual cattle they're coming from. So
Correct.
You really want to look and see, okay, well, this one looks a lot better with better marbling than that one.
Yep. And that's what, when we start getting into the butcher shop aspect, use your eyes. When you're shopping for meats, use your eyes, and just what you think looks the best to you. If it looks off, then most of the time it probably is going to be a little off or not perfect. So use your eye and kind of get to know your cuts of meat. Prime, choice, and then you got the select, and excuse me. And, select is fairly tender, but because it has less marbling, it may lack some of the juiciness and flavor of the higher grades. So those are your three grades of steaks. And that's what you're going to see in either restaurants, supermarkets, membership shops, restaurant stores, the choice and the select. Prime is, your Capital Grills, your Ruth Chris, all that stuff. What's up? Why are you laughing?
I'm just following some of our listeners that are watching live. Paul Beasley, you met
nice.
when we had at the Smutty Nose.
Yep. Okay.
Paul, I would love some ribs right now myself. I'm starving.
And then also, to get off the meat topic quick, chicken. Did you know that chicken had grades?
That I did not know.
Okay.
Granted, I would assume there wouldn't be grades because chicken's something you don't mess with. Either you do it right or you're getting sick.
Yes.
So I think
I mean, the chicken that we mostly see is grade A. You have B and C, which are, basically used in further processed products where the poultry meat is cut up, chopped, or ground. It's not usually, it's the shit cuts. Grade A, you're not going to find any feathers. So, all the feathers are off, no broken bones. That's basically the grading for chicken. Bruises, discolorations, and feathers. So that's what they're looking for when they're grading chicken.
So they're raising chickens without feathers, is what you're telling me?
No.
I've never gone to a grocery store or butcher shop and
You've
found a feather.
You've never, on a chicken wing. You've never eaten a chicken wing or seen a chicken wing and there's a little tiny feather or on it, like one or two.
Be honest with you, I never paid attention.
Serious?
I figured it was always coming up.
You've
seen me eat, first
yes.
off.
Yeah, you don't even look at it.
No, we just eat it.
Hey, Johnny, the wings have bones, too,
Oh, I know that. I know that.
I didn't know.
Oh, I got one stuck.
I just ate the bone.
my throat looked like, who was it, Pebble Flintstone?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With I had the bone sticking out both sides. It looked like Frankenstein. But no, you're serious.
I'm dead serious.
It comes with feathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, and it's mostly I've seen it on, I haven't seen it on thighs. I've seen it on wings. I've seen it on, leg quarters. And it's not tons of feathers. It's, you can just see remnants of a feather here and there. So next time you're eating chicken, take a look.
Well, the thing about chicken is once everybody on TV started handling it like it's toxic waste, I kind of lost my interest in it.
My wife won't even touch raw chicken.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Chicken, working with chicken's kind of a pain in the neck too. Put gloves on, you got to rinse it off, or some people say don't rinse it off, pat it dry with a paper towel, and then throw everything out that's around it, pretty much.
Burn everything.
Yeah. Move.
Yeah. So great. So now every time I eat chicken, I'm going to look for feathers now. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem.
You don't want to be eating feathers, I don't think.
I don't think so, but, if I've gone this long
just
without
like-
noticing one,
I mean, have you ever been to a pig roast? Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, just
I've never seen feathers on pigs.
no, but you will notice some some remnants of hair on a pig, depending on how
Yeah.
large it is, and basically depending on how large it is, I believe. But I mean, they burn it off, So yeah, they may miss a piece here and there, but yeah. So pigs will have hair. So chickens will have, there'll be some feathers. I mean,
I've
you're
never
not going to
seen
see tons.
I've never seen it. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to roll with you on this one
Okay.
because I'm going to bow down and say you know more than me on this one.
No,
I
I'm
have
just-
never seen
I'm just reading.
feathers on a piece of raw chicken.
Okay.
Hey, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. It's just a regular letter grade.
Yep.
Mostly everything's grade A for chicken.
Yep. Mostly everything's grade A. And then you B and C are for other, processed foods.
Such a what would you use a lesser graded chicken?
Well-
That just sounds scary to me.
Well, you got like tuna fish in cans. You got your, chicken in cans. So I'm guessing that would be the, B and C grades.
Next, you're going to tell me this is how they got the slogan, "The Chicken of the Sea."
I don't know how they got that slogan.
Okay.
I was wondering that too, because I'm like, tuna fish, chicken of the sea.
Now, what I have also found out with the grades, that a lot of stores, you buy a piece of beef, it comes in the package, you have that styrofoam tray it's on.
Then you got that sponge that soaks up.
You got the sponge that soaks up, but I'm not really going with the sponge there, the little whatever it is. The tray itself, you have 3 different colors. You have black, yellow, and white. There is a significance of each color.
Okay, I'm learning something.
As far as I know, the black means prime,
here. Okay.
the highest in that store.
Okay. So like Angus.
Angus.
Yep.
So black Angus, the black tray. Then I think it goes yellow, then white. So white's really the bottom of the barrel. So if you have a choice, black, yellow, and white out of the styrofoam trays that the cut comes on, that's it. The white is the lesser of the 3 cuts.
Okay.
But the chicken I always see in the yellow-colored ones.
This is, as far as I know, only with the beef. They only do it with the beef. But yeah, the yellow is definitely always with the chickens.
Yeah, yellow's always with chickens. I do know that.
I don't know if that's just sort of color matching and it
Yeah.
makes it look better in the package.
But I know that there's the difference with the beef of the tray it comes in. And so, obviously, we've all been to gone to purchase meat, and it can be quite intimidating.
Correct.
Because you walk into a place like up the street here, McKinnon's, and it's
It's a shit show. I mean, you got just a mad rush of people just at the counter, and you're trying to go in there, trying to figure out what you're going to get for dinner or, what are you going to put on the grill, and you just see tons of meat. Your marinated steak tips, your sausages, all different kinds, your top rounds, your sirloins, your skirts, your tri-tips. So what do you get?
It is a playground
Yeah.
of meat.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic because you got everything. Anything you want, you can find.
Correct.
But if you don't know what you want, there's a guy behind the counter.
Yes.
And from Bob?
Rob.
From Rob's, or he could be Bob too, but from Rob's
No,
question.
he's always been Rob.
Okay. The butchers, treat the butcher like your meat concierge.
Yep.
He's not a scary guy. He will, he'll point you in the right direction. So if you went to him and said, I have $20, that's my budget. What can I get for $20?
Right.
And he'll point you in the right direction and, kind of explain some things to you. Is the butcher cheaper than a supermarket? No. And if you're just there to get, a piece of steak or chicken breast or a piece of steak, go to the supermarket. But if you're looking for something that, is kind of exotic or, different or needs to be cut, or you want something cut a certain way, that's when you go to your butcher.
Although, when I want a killer steak, I go to the butcher, right? If you go to the market,
Yes.
you're not going to get a nice thick cut.
No, you're going to get, thin
Yeah.
cuts and yes.
So
Yes.
get to know your butcher.
100%.
Ask questions, just socialize a little bit, get to know them, and never might give you an extra little cut here and there.
You know what I've found? They also are very knowledgeable about the cooking methods too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
They'll give
you'll
you
say,
some
well,
recipes.
All right, I'm going to put it on the grill. How long per side? And they're happy to help.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
Because they
guys,
want you to come back.
Yeah.
yeah, the guys up in McKinnon's, they're great. They're great. Not this past year. 2 years ago for Christmas, I've been getting into doing, well, at least McKinnon's call them holiday roasts. Mm-hmm. And I had gone up, and it was, maybe 4 or 5 days. They had a little sale going on, $2.99 a pound, something like that. And I asked, I go, how long is it, going to stay for? I'm cooking it on Christmas Day. He goes, don't worry, give it to me. He goes, pick whichever one you want. So I picked it. Brought it out back. Vacuum sealed it for me, the whole 9 yards. He goes, it's good. Whenever you open it, he goes, vacuum seal it, cut down the process, took any air out, so you don't have to worry about spoiling. It'll last right there. If you're going to cook it on Christmas morning, have at it. They did it, free of charge. More than happy to help you out doing it. And it was great.
So was that a roast beast?
Yes, sirloin roast.
Nice.
Oh,
I love a
beautiful.
good sirloin roast.
You know what we were talking about actually today? So you ever heard of a, what North Shore roast beef sandwiches are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nick's. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So smoking a roast beef that way, keeping it rare,
Smoked roast beef
and then
sandwich.
doing a smoked roast beef sandwich, with the mayo, cheese, barbecue sauce. Oh,
You didn't bring this.
no, but we're going to try it, and when we do try it, we will bring it for.
I forget. They all use the same brand of barbecue.
I want to say it's
sauce.
James River
You're right.
barbecue
Yep.
sauce.
And
Yep.
that's what they're all using. It
And
has
it
a
is
pretty
great.
distinct flavor.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh yeah. There's nothing like a roast beef sandwich.
Oh, dude, you said something about it the other day when you came by, when you called me. Oh, I had to stop, and I got a couple roast beef sandwiches. Okay, you like roast beef sandwiches? I go, well, of course I do. What's your order? And what did you say?
Oh.
I forget. What's your order at a roast beef place?
Roast beef 3-way, sauce, mayo, and cheese.
Yeah,
Done.
I'm talking quantity.
Oh, I usually do 4 to 5 juniors.
4 to 5
4 to
juniors.
5.
Yeah.
Amateur. Amateur.
See, I grew up in North Andover, so
Okay.
first you went over to Riley's.
Yep.
So you got Harrison's.
Yep. That was after the Riley's
Okay.
era. There was a Riley's roast beef over in Lawrence on 114. So
Andover line though.
no,
Oh, so okay.
yeah, you had to go in there.
Okay.
We've gone from grades to know your butcher to roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the proper order is 2 soupers, 3 ways, and a pizza roll.
The pizza. I've never had a
I
pizza. roll.
don't know. There's some oddities there where they just will throw anything in the deep fryer. I've seen egg rolls and pizza rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's good. Oh, man. Nothing like a good roast beef sandwich.
No.
And that's usually after a couple beers. You say, throw in the pizza
Throw in the
rolls."
pizza roll.
You guys want pizza rolls? Oh yeah.
You can buy three bags of Tostitos at the store than for what the price is of one of them at the roast beef place. So
All right. So back to the butcher.
back to the butcher. Dropping off a nice bottle of booze around Christmas time doesn't hurt.
Nope. It'll move you up in line.
That's right. You don't wait for nothing.
Yep. And when you go into the butcher, a lot of people around here, steak tips are popular. So they'll get steak tips, they'll get marinated steak tips. But, if you just go to a butcher or even go to the supermarket and ask the meat department, do you have any flat meat? And flat meat is steak tips, but, as a whole, it's a whole, piece of meat. So go home, cut them into tips. You can marinate them yourself overnight, but that is also going to save you a boatload of money. Other areas than a butcher, farmers markets. People don't think about farmers markets for buying meat, seafood, but there's a farmers market in, I think it's Derry, either Derry or Salem. And this guy had phenomenal seafood. And Another guy has phenomenal meat, but he only comes with a cooler full of it.
Yeah.
So when it's out, it's out. So if you do, want something, you got to get there early.
Yeah, I'm pretty
but
sure
it's coming right from a farm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Derry has it every Saturday morning, at least during the summer.
Yep,
It might
so
be
does it
coming
now.
to the end now.
Yeah, so Salem has it every Saturday too, Saturday morning.
Have either of you ever been to Blood Farm?
No.
I used to. I used to
Yeah,
get pigs there.
Oh, yeah.
And then it burnt down.
They rebuilt.
Yes, okay.
They make great bacon there, but it's an actual operating slaughterhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Groton, Massachusetts.
Yep.
And they don't raise cattle there, although a lot of the local guys, the grass feed, will send the cattle there to be butchered. And so the selection of stuff there is mind-boggling. Like you say, a lot of people get pigs there.
Yep.
A lot of goats. They sell.
Well, and that's another thing people don't really think of. If you go to a farm, you can get a whole animal.
Right.
And the whole animal's not going to show up at your door as a whole dead animal. They're going to butcher it. They're going to package it, just like you'd be getting at a supermarket or a butcher shop. But again, you're cutting out the middleman, so your price points are going to be more in range to whatever you'd be looking for.
The other thing I have to buy at the butcher are the lamb chops. You can't get a good lamb chop over at the supermarket.
Yes.
Good thick cut lamb chops. The butcher's the only place.
And
to
that's the other thing with the butcher, that they'll cut to whatever
you
size
want.
you want.
Correct.
I need a 2-inch thick steak. Well, they'll do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love the butchers. Love the butcher shop. Now, you actually said you have a lot of experience in certifications in butchering, or at least cutting.
I have.
However you had the term you use.
I've been to numerous pig cutting classes and one steer cow cutting class. So basically what they did is they, had pigs cut in half, and then so you could see everything, from the inside out, and then we would process our own pig, and then we'd, vacuum seal it, take it home. But he would show you, the difference between, okay, your tenderloin is here, but this is where your pork chops come from. Here's your bacon down here. Here's your, baby backs. Here's just, your spares. So it was good knowledge. And, would I be able to do it perfectly? Probably not. But I know where the points are, so I have somewhat of a knowledge.
You could make it work.
Oh, yeah. But the cow or the steer, that was just huge. Like, I don't think I could do that by myself.
Yeah, a cow is, pretty good sized animal.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. Pretty sure it doesn't have feathers, so we don't have to worry about feathers
Nope.
when we're cooking it.
Nope.
You're blowing my mind with the whole next. I don't know if I can eat chicken wings anymore. I'm afraid I'm going to get a feather.
I think you'll get over it.
I think I already did.
You eat meat on. Oh yeah, that was a stupid question.
You didn't even ask it.
Do you eat meat on the bone? Obviously.
Oh, that's a stupid question.
Yep. Well, that's because some people don't eat meat on the bone, which I don't understand.
Hey, we got a very dear friend of ours that doesn't eat pig.
Yep. Oh,
Sad.
here's a quick tip for people going to a butcher shop, or if you want to go to a supermarket. If you're looking for a bone-in ribeye, usually they're expensive.
Yep.
So instead of getting a bone-in ribeye, you can ask the butcher to cut a chuck eye steak, which is sliced from the area right next to the ribeye, and it's more affordable, but still basically tastes the same. So it's a little knowledge if someone wants to go try and ask for one. You can let us know.
The one that's not a good buy is getting the tomahawk steak. All you're doing is paying for more bone.
More bone.
At a high price, you
Yeah.
know, because that bone way out at the end is adding nothing except visual interest.
Have
Correct.
you ever had the tomahawk up here at the Tuscan?
No, should I?
Oh, yes. My wife brought me.
Tuscan Kitchen?
Yeah.
Really?
Claudia brought me for my birthday 2 years ago.
Okay.
That I've been a obviously Red Sox and everything. Love Nesson. Always been a Charlie Moore fan. Just love his show, and they're an advertiser for his shows. So I always wanted to go there. Always wanted to go there. Just never did. So she brought me for my birthday 2 years ago. Oh my God, it was a slice of heaven. It was incredible. You could almost cut it with the fork. It was that tender. It was just done perfectly. But yeah, they bring it out and you just see this hockey stick flying off the plate. It's like, I'm trying to angle it so not to knock her drink over, and so I'm making a mess, trying to keep myself clean.
Did you pick it up and eat it with your hand?
No, I was in a classy establishment. If I was home, we were doing that, brother.
Still gonna do that. Who cares?
No. I have an image to uphold once in a while.
I got my giant tomahawk home, and I go to put it in the fridge. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff to get this in here. And then when you go to cook it, I mean, I have a full-size Weber grill, but it's like, okay, well, how do I angle this so I can actually close the lid after I sear it?
Yep.
So they're a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I've never eaten one. I've never cooked one.
Fantastic.
I'd love to, but
It's fun.
It's an appearance.
It is.
It's
Type
definitely,
cook.
it's definitely an appearance. But it was if you're gonna do it, go up to the Tuscan. It is out of this world.
It makes you feel like a Flintstone for the day.
Yeah. Granted, it is a $50 steak there, but
Right, so I'll have to go out to dinner with my parents.
Frank, you heard that. Feel free to adopt me that night. But I hope Rob, I hope we hit on a bunch of the stuff you're talking about. We're
We'll get to the pork tenderloin question next week.
Get into that. But that's it for this week. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. We'd love to hear from you, Rob. Thank you again. Send your questions and comments to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. On social media, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Pit Life BBQ Podcast or Pit Life BBQ. Can't catch us live? Find us on iTunes and other podcast carriers. Hit subscribe, like, rate, review, spread the word, tell your friends, anybody who has some interest. You never know. Well, let's get this thing growing. And, like, subscribe, review. That's pretty much it.
Perfect.
Perfect. Pork tenderloin next week?
Pork tenderloin next week.
All right, Rob, you heard it. We're coming, brother.
Should be a good one.
All right, guys. Until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.